Hi friends, welcome back to Arc Tutorials. In today's episode, I'm going to bring you top 10 coding myth that is holding you back and how to break free from them. These coding myths are pretty common, pretty obvious, especially if you're starting out in your careers or in a mid-level. A lot of people when they are trying to change technology or career often go through these myths. So this is my attempt to uncover the top 10 coding myths that are stifling your growth. Let's get started. I hope after this episode you will be able to break free from this myth and grow in your careers. So, myth number one, you need to learn every programming language. Now, this is one of the most common myth. If you see the comment section, you would see that every other or third comment is about learning every new programming language. That's a total myth. You don't need to learn every programming language, especially if you have certain years of experience in certain framework. You need to be up to date for sure, but you don't have to learn all programming languages. Let's say you have been working on Angular for a while. If you want to learn React, that makes total sense. But if you tell me that I'm going to learn jQuery, Vue, Solid, Quick, that doesn't make sense, right? So be up to date, be make sure that your career is aligned with the skill set you're learning, and that programming languages needs to be aligned. If you're from backend development, if you are learning Node.js, Express.js, it makes sense for you to learn Next.js. But you don't have to learn like every framework, every programming language, Python, R. No, that doesn't make sense. Stick to your skill set, expand your knowledge, but don't try to learn every programming language. Now, the second most common myth is more code is always better. That's not true. The reverse of that is always true. You have to learn to write optimized code, less code, which does the same output in more efficient, more optimized way. That's what will be the preference. Given that we live in AI world, a lot of code will be generated by AI. But your job is to even provide it with correct prompt so that it writes you that optimized code. Now, coding is a solo activity. That's myth number three. It's not it. While you will have to work on your task independently, you can always reach out to your teammates, your leads, or even for that matter, AI, ChatGPT, Codium, Perplexity, to get help in coding. So it need not to be solo coding. With the latest trends being vibe coding, you can definitely make AI your partner in coding. Myth number four, the best coders never make mistakes. If you're following my channel, when I do live coding, I too run into a lot of errors, compilation errors, syntax errors, or some issues, because the best coders are the ones who knows how to fix things, how to debug things, and then make it work. A lot of times people think the best coders are someone who never make mistakes. That's incorrect. That's a myth. The best coders are someone who can read the error, understand what is happening, and then fix it. Myth number five, you can skip testing if the code works in development. Now, this is the most common myth you would find in enterprises. A lot of times people shy away from writing either end-to-end tests or unit tests, thinking that testing is negligible, it's not important, and that's where the problems begin. Remember, testing, unit testing, end-to-end testing, these are part of your deliverables. So you need to learn how to write tests. That's also part of the development. Myth number six, once the code is written, you're done. That's wrong. As if you're working in agile projects, your code, your requirements will keep changing. So chances are that the code that you have written or someone else has written needs to be updated based on that particular requirement. So myth number six is once the code is written, you're done. No, you're not done. That code needs to evolve as your functionality, as your features, as your requirements will change. Myth number seven, learning to code is an overnight process. Now, this is something I cannot insist more. I have been coding for so many years now. If you're following my channel, it's almost 7-8 years that I've been posting coding tutorials every single day or alternate day or so. So and I'm still learning. So coding is an art, is a practice that you need to continue as long as you are in your career. So you cannot pick up one thing and say I'm going to learn it overnight and become a success. While you may learn the syntax, while you may learn some of the concepts, mastering will take time. It is not an overnight process. Frameworks are the best option for every project. Now, frameworks are boilerplates which provides you with a lot of tools, utilities, modules, libraries, but sometimes you have to, this is purely based on the evaluation, the requirement of the project, and also what exactly you're trying to accomplish. Frameworks are best option provided if it maps your requirement, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you have to write out of box code, sometimes you have to write custom code in order to build that boilerplate. Myth number 9, if it works, it's good enough. This is something that a lot of people, including myself, have been doing it for a few years. Sometimes when we are working on a functionality and if it works, we think it's good enough and we stop there. We never pause to think back that, okay, now that it's working, how do I make it better optimized? How do I make it more performance oriented? How do I make sure that it's scalable? So these are three questions that you should often ask once your code is working. Once your code is working, how do you improve it? How do you optimize it? That's the next question you should always ask yourself. Myth number 10, you must be an expert to build great software. Now, great software is built by practice. It's built on iterations. It's never that some expert will come and build a great software. No, we are all experts. We are all learning, and great software is always built in iterations. It's never a one time go. So you can start where you are. You don't need to be an expert. But yes, learning is one of the biggest aspect that you need to continuously integrate while you are building your code. So these are the top 10 myths that I have come across, especially in the comments, in the emails. So make sure that you get these myths busted and get break free out of all of this and start thinking fresh. And your approach, your way of thinking should be beyond this myth. I hope I am able to help you with clearing of some of the myths. Let me know in the comment section what are the other myths that you think are there, what you need help with. I'll be more than happy to share my experience and knowledge. Thank you so much for joining in this episode. Make sure to get your ebook of the full stack interview question answer series at arctutorials.gumroad.com. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you in the next episode.